Shalom, welcome to Tactically Torah. I am Heath Hayes. Today is day 41 of Read the Bible in a Year. We are reading Leviticus chapters 24 and 25. You can follow along in the scriptures if you want to. We're on page 31. Just diving right in now. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Command to the children of Israel that they bring to you clear oil of pressed olives for the light, to make the lamps burn continually. Outside the veil of the witness and the tent of appointment, Aaron is to arrange it from evening until morning before Yahweh continually, a law forever throughout your generations. He is to arrange the lamps on the clean gold lampstand before Yahweh continually. And you shall take fine flour and bake 12 cakes with it, 2/10 of an ephah in each cake, and you shall set them in 2 rows, 6 in a row on the clean table before Yahweh, and you shall put clear frankincense in each row, and it shall be on the bread as a remembrance portion, an offering made by fire to Yahweh. On every Sabbath he is to arrange it before Yahweh continually from the children of Israel an everlasting covenant. And it shall be for Aaron and his sons, as they shall eat it in the set-apart place, because it is most set apart to him from the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, an everlasting law. And the son of an Israeli woman whose father was a Mitzrite went out among the children of Israel. And an Israeli woman's son and a man of Israel strove in the camp. And the Israeli woman's son blasphemed the name and cursed. So they brought him to Moshe. And now his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. And they put him under guard, that it might be declared to them at the mouth of Yahweh. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Bring the one who is cursed outside the camp, and all those who heard him shall lay their hands on his head, and all the congregation shall stone him. And speak to the children of Israel, saying, Anyone who curses his Elohim shall bear his sin. And he who blasphemes the name of Yahweh shall certainly be put to death, and all the congregation certainly stone him. And the sojourner as well as the native, when he blasphemes the name, he is put to death. And a man who strikes the being of any man shall certainly be put to death, and he who strikes a beast repays it body for body. And when a man inflicts a blemish upon his neighbor, as he has done, so it is done to him, fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he inflicts a blemish upon him, so it is done to him. And he who strikes a beast repays it, and he who strikes a man to death is put to death. You are to have one right ruling for the sojourner and for the native, for I am Yahweh your Elohim. And Moshe spoke to the children of Israel, and they brought the one who cursed outside the camp, and stoned him with stones, and the children of Israel did as Yahweh commanded Moshe. Chapter 25. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe on Mount Sinai, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When you come into the land which I give you, then the land shall observe a Sabbath to Yahweh. 6 years you sow your field, and 6 years you shall prune your vineyard and gather its fruit. But in the 7th year the land is to have a Sabbath of rest, a Sabbath to Yahweh. Do not sow your field, and do not prune your vineyard. Do not reap what grows of its own. Do not reap what grows of its own of your harvest, and do not gather the grapes of your unpruned vine, for it is a year of rest for the land. And the Sabbath of the land shall be to you for food, for you and your servant, and for your female servant, for your hired servant, and the settler who sojourns with you. If your livestock and the beasts that are in your land and all its crops are for food. And you shall count 7 Sabbaths of years for yourself 7 times 7 years, and the time of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be to you 49 years. And you shall sound the shofar sound on the 10th day of the 7th new moon on Yom HaKippurim. Cause a shofar to sound throughout your land. And you shall set the 50th year apart, and proclaim release throughout all the land and all its inhabitants. It is a Yobel for you, or a jubilee. And you shall return to his possession, each of you, and each of you shall return to his possession, and each of you return to his clan. The 50th year is a Yobel to you. Do not sow, nor reap what grows of its own, nor gather from its unpruned vine. It is a Yobel, it is set apart to you. Eat from the field its crops. In the year of this Yobel, let each one of you return to his possession. And when you sell whatever to your neighbor, or buy from the hand of your neighbor, do not exploit one another. According to the number of years after the Yobel, you buy from your neighbor, according to the number of years of crops he sells you. According to the greater number of years, you increase its price, and according to the fewer number of years, you diminish its price, because he sells to you according to the number of years of the crops. And do not oppress one another, but you shall fear your Elohim, for I am Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall do my laws and guard my right rulings, and shall do them, and shall dwell in the land in safety. And the land shall yield its fruit, and you shall eat to satisfaction, and dwell there in safety. And since you might say, what do we eat in the 7th year, since we do not sow nor gather in our crops? Therefore I have commanded my blessing on you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth the crop for 3 years. Wow, praise Yah. And you shall sow in the 8th year, and eat the crop, and eat of the old crop until the 9th year. Eat of the old until its crop comes in. And the land is not to be sold beyond reclaim, for the land is mine, for you are sojourners and settlers with me. And provide a redemption for the land in all the land of your possession, when your brother becomes poor and has sold some of his possession, and his redeemer, a close relative, comes to redeem it, then he shall redeem what his brother sold. And when the man has no one to redeem it, but he himself becomes able to redeem it, then let him count the years since its sale, and return the remainder to the man whom he sold it, and he shall return to his possession. And if his hand is not found enough to give back to him, then what was sold shall remain in the hand of him who bought it until the year of the Yobel, and it shall be released in the Yobel, and he shall return to his possession. And when a man sells a house in a walled city, then his right of redemption shall be at the end of the year after it's sold. His right of redemption lasts a year. But if it is not redeemed within a complete year, then the house in a walled city shall be established beyond reclaim to the buyer of it throughout his generations. It is not released in the Yobel. The houses of villages, however, which have no wall around them, are reckoned as a field of the country. A right of redemption belongs to it. They are released in the Yobel. As for the cities of the Levites and the houses in the cities of their possession, the Levites have a right to redemption forever. And that which is redeemed from the Levites, both the sale of a house and the city of his possession, shall be released in the year of Yobel, because the houses and the cities of the Levites are their possession in the midst of the children of Israel. But the field of the open land of their cities is not sold, for it is their everlasting possession. And when your brother becomes poor and his hand has failed with you, then you shall strengthen him, and he shall live with you like a sojourner or a settler. Take no interest of him or profit, but you shall fear your Elohim, and your brother shall live with you. Do not lend him your silver on interest, and do not lend him your food for profit. I am Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, to give you the land of Canaan to be your Elohim. And when your brother who dwells by you becomes poor and sells himself to you, do not make him serve as a slave, but as a hired servant. As a settler he is with you and serves you until the year of Yobel. And then he shall leave you, he and his children with him, and shall return to his own clan, even return to the possession of his fathers. For they are my servants, whom I brought out of the land of Mitzrayim. They are not sold as slaves. Do not rule over him with harshness, but you shall fear your Elohim, and your male and female slaves, whom you have made from the nations that are around you. From them you buy male and female slaves. And also from the sons of strangers settling among you, from them you buy, and from their clans who are with you, which they shall bring forth in your land. And they shall be your property, and you shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them as a possession. They are your slaves for all time, but over your brothers, the children of Israel, you do not rule with harshness, one over another. Now when a sojourner or a settler with you becomes rich, and your brother with him becomes poor, and sells himself to the sojourner or settler with you, or to a member of the sojourner's clan, after he has been sold, there is a right of redemption to him. One of his brothers is to redeem him. I need to underline that. One moment. All right. Or his uncle or his uncle's son does redeem him, or anyone who is a close relative to him and his clan does redeem him, or if he is able, then he shall redeem himself. And he shall reckon with him who bought him. The price of his release shall be according to the number of years from the year that which he was sold to him, until the year of the Yobel. As the days of a hired servant it is with him. If there are yet many years according to them, he repays the price of his redemption from the silver of his purchase. And if few years are left until the year of the Yobel, then he shall reckon with him, and according to his years he repays the price of his redemption. He is with him as a yearly hired servant, and he does not rule with harshness over him before your eyes. And if he is not redeemed in these years, then he shall be released in the year of the Yobel, he and his children with him. Because the children of Israel are servants to me. They are my servants, whom I brought out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. And tomorrow we will wrap up Leviticus with chapters 26 and 27 and move on to the book of Numbers. Shalom.